on Twitch, I saw a clip where you said, you know what, like you're living a great life. It's great to be a professional football player, but at the same time, it's kind of lonely here.
Yeah, sometimes it gets lonely when you're sitting at home and you're just, thinking to yourself, like, what is there to do? I mean, I guess comes with the job.
So why is it that all these professional footballers, having all the money, all the fame, everything they could want, how are they so lonely? And the truth is that being a professional footballer is a lot lonelier than you could ever think. Look, when I started my career in football, my serious career, when I first went to Portugal, I was super excited. Honestly, moving to Europe, playing football in an academy, in a Premier League academy, I felt like that was the life I always dreamed of. And going into it, I was just super excited. Especially because when I first came there, I came with my mom or my dad or somebody. So I enjoyed the time there. We rented a car, we visited different places. But when my parents left, after a week, and I was there by myself, after every training, trainings in the morning or in the afternoon, the whole day you have to do nothing, and you don't have a car, you're young, you can't afford it. You can ride the bus, but you don't have any friends to go with anywhere. It's honestly super lonely. If you're my age, even older, you have all your friends, all your family, and you completely leave them behind. You travel across the ocean with a 5 time zone difference. It's hard. Because look, as you're going to bed, your parents are coming off of work. Not much time to talk to them. And your friends, they have their things. They have school, they have training, they have their friends that they hang out with back at home. A lot of people say you have your teammates. In Europe, it's a lot different. In America, yes, your teammates take soccer seriously, but not to the same extent as in Europe. In America, you have something to fall back on. It's more of like enjoyment and hobby. In Europe, it's literally their job. Yes, they can be your friends, but it's a cutthroat job. They understand that they want your spot and you want their spot. They're gonna be doing anything they can to have themselves play and not you. And this leads to a lot of tension and a lot of cutthroat relationships where you can't really become friends with your teammates. Especially as an American myself, going to a new country where I don't understand the language, I don't understand the culture, I already feel like an outsider, and my teammates treat me like an outsider. Because they think, who's this American guy? We're a lot better than him, why is he here? They're talking behind your back, they're doing all these things, and you know that they're doing that. You don't have to speak the language to understand. And it gets really lonely. And I remember this past year when I was 18, turning 19, and I was in Malta. And I came home after a bad game one day. I just sat in my room by myself, didn't say anything, didn't have anyone to talk to. Even my teammates who were living with me, it's hard to talk to them because you're not close with them. It's hard to express your feelings to people who you're not really close with. As a pro in this business, people don't really care much about how you feel. They really care more about how you perform. They could care less what you're thinking, what caused you to have a bad game, why you're feeling bad, why you're not playing consistently anymore. They just get mad at you for not playing consistently. They look at the symptoms, but they don't care about the underlying issue. They just want to make sure that the symptoms aren't there. They don't care about why are these symptoms are happening, why are you in this mood. They know you had a bad game, but they could care less. What they would rather do is they'd rather talk behind your back and blame you for stuff on the game, even though they know really well that everybody goes through this experience. But that's just super hard because you understand that you have a good game, but one slip up and everyone blames you. You get blamed, you're the talking point, especially in a foreign country. So about these high-level professional players like Bukayo Saka, they're in a different situation than I was. They have a lot of money, they can go out, they can do stuff like that, everybody knows them. We expect them having these things would cure their loneliness, but that's just not true. They went through the same stuff that I went through, having the whole day free, especially if they're younger. they don't have a girlfriend or a wife or somebody. A lot of the times their family doesn't live with them. They live away from their family. And someone who's younger, you never know. You move every year and you don't really have time to build these relationships with people. Everyone thinks just because these professional players, everyone knows their names, you know, they're famous, millions of followers on Instagram, they can get noticed in a second just walking down the street, that they shouldn't feel lonely because everybody knows them. But that's the problem, because all these fans know who they are, but they really don't care about the player. One day they could be praising this player, the next day they could be calling him racial slurs, they could be yelling at him, throwing bottles at him on the pitch, because no one really cares how you truly feel. They just care about results, and they switch up on you like this. So yeah, being a pro can be really lonely, and I think it's a big struggle, but that's part of the sacrifice. You know, you're doing something that almost nobody else in the world is doing, and there's a reason for that. It's because the sacrifices you have to make, most people aren't willing to make. It's a struggle. It's lonely, it's hard, but I think there's great reward in you making it, in success, and especially in the journey. Because I think being lonely will teach you a lot about yourself. I think you're gonna get used to it after a few years. It's a sacrifice well worth it. And I look back at these times where I felt lonely, and I'm happy I went through it, because it taught me a big lesson in being able to live just by myself, not relying on other people. And I thank you guys really for watching this. If you guys could drop a like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below what you guys want to see next. I'll see you guys.